Hello, Professor. I'm Basit Khan, and today the topic of my presentation is smart grid in China. This is the table of contents for my today presentation. I'm going to present the idea about this. So let's talk about in this study, a smart grid supply uh, chain model is used to structure the discussion of the China's power system along with their most pressing problems and challenges. So first, talk about the historical perspective. In the past 15 years, a series of reforms have greatly improved the efficiency, reliability, and environmental performance of the Chinese power sector. However, significantly challenges remain the same. First, I would like to discuss about the power generation. So, compared to international averages, China's per capita reserves of coal, petroleum, and natural gas are rather low, a situation which in recent years has resulted in increasing dependence on the import of fossil fuels. Like from 2006 to 2000, the total installed capacity almost doubled, increasing from 621 gigawatt to 1147 gigawatt. Coal is currently the primary source of electricity generation in China. In 2012, it accounted for close to 80% of the total electricity generation. The second pillar of the China's electricity generation mix is hydropower, which has a share of roughly 17% of the total electricity generation. Nuclear and wind power contribute a share of roughly 2%. Other sources such as gas, solar, and biomass shares are less than 1%. Power consumption. So, uh, since the 1980s, the increase in China's power consumption has been mainly driven by industrial growth. In 2011, more than 70% of the China electricity was consumed by the industrial sector. Also, the residential sector accounted for approximately 12% and the commercial sector for 3%. Now let's talk about the smart grid development in China. So, like, what is the motivation for smart grid in China? So, the smart grid for increasing supply security due to missing sensoring and monitoring technologies. It often takes a long time to analyze the respective line, locate and isolate the fault, and re-establish electric supply. Enhancing distribution grid with smart grid technology such as advanced sensoring and control technology is often seen as means to improve the reliability of the whole electric power system in China. Smart grid for facilitating peak shaving. So the rapid growth of electricity consumption reflected in very high peak loads may cause shortages on the generation side and network congestions. The regulations of China electric power system. So first I would like to discuss about the policy setting. The government strategy serves an important basis for smart grid investment decisions of both companies and households. The Chinese government has set quite specific targets with regard to the development to the energy system until 2025. The fundamental institutions, the government's structure of China's energy system and its particular the power sector has been subject to frequent reorganization and currently comprises a broad variety of ministries and institutions. The State Council SC is the highest executive organ of the People's Republic of China. NDRC is an agency under SC exerting broad administrative and planning control over the Chinese economy. Recommended approaches for market development in China. A clearly defined long-term strategies for the electric power sector reduces uncertainty for smart grid investment manufacturers. A lower level of uncertainty on future development reduces the risk, and clearly defined roles and responsibility of government bodies are a fundamental requirement for the development of smart grids. Basic ICT requirement for ICT infrastructure in smart grid. Provide well manageable and robust access control and user privileges mechanism to the smart grid components and system. Guarantee the confidentiality, integrity, and authentication of all smart grid related communication events, and guarantee a robust physical protection for the smart grid components. This is the regulatory pathways for smart grid development in China. Like targets of the power logistics sector. China's the plans also include upgrading urban and rural distribution grid, promoting distribution intelligence, and improving the capacity and reliability of the overall supply. This enhancement of distribution grid, primarily regulatory pathways for smart grid development in China, aims at reducing blackout time by roughly 40%. The regulatory pathways for smart grid development in China, government targets for power logistics sector at a glance, build up a backbone network and roughly double grid capacities from 2012 to 2020, upgrade distribution grid and reduce blackout time significantly, promote energy storage. This is the continuation slide to my previous slide. Like the government targets for the power consumption sector at a glance, like increase efficiency of power use, provide universal access to the electric power even in most remote regions of China by 2012. These are the underlying scenarios. Like in this section, the three smart grid development scenarios will be presented based on different energy policies goals. Reliability or security of supply. In this scenario, the goal is to maximize the electricity availability and to minimize outages and disruption of the electricity supply. Ecological sustainability is also very important. Like the second scenario, focus on improving air qualities as well as on decreasing, potentially stopping the growth of CO2 emission. Affordability and competition is the key factor for innovation and affordability. uh, that's it from my side. What I've included in is a drop, and what I have not included is a notion. Thank you, Professor, for your time and attention to listening to my presentation. Thank you so much.